Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. And we got a lot of books here, and it's late at night. We decided to do it the night right after the Frontline live show because tomorrow night it hit us right after we went off live. We're going to be super busy, so exhausted, we are going to push through these books, and these books were released on
November 19th, 2014, and my voice is a little bit better than in indie.
Yes.
I hope it stays
so
that way.
Because this is a late review, and because this is going to go up basically the day the next set of books comes out, we're going to be brief with these books, but still thorough enough to give you guys our opinion on each of them.
So we're going to start with Marvel books.
Yep.
So begin.
Thank you, boss. Daredevil issue number 10. Kilgrave's kids knock Daredevil down, and Kilgrave comes in for the kill. However, Daredevil manages to one-up Kilgrave, and Kilgrave runs off. Where's Kilgrave going? To wreak revenge on his dirty, rotten children. And now all of a sudden it's up to Daredevil to save these children. But when he's around the children, his emotions kind of go askew, so to speak. So in the end, he does end up saving the kids and beating Kilgrave. However, the kids can't stay in close proximity to each other because then they turn purple and the psychic powers begin. So they have to stay a very far distance away from each other. I love Chris Samnee's artwork in this book. Mark Waid's writing is spectacular, as always. And I'm very sad to see that this team is going to be going soon. It was announced in February, the last story arc, brought to us by Mark Waid and Chris Samnee, will be beginning. So by the middle of next year, I don't know if Daredevil is going to continue with a new creative team or if they're going to revolume it off with a new team. But I'm going to be sad to see Daredevil go. I really am. And I don't know if I'm going to be picking up the next volume because of it. It depends who the writer is going to be, and it depends who the artist is going to be. Mark Waid made me like Daredevil. I don't know how I'll feel when the new... I mean, it's obvious that you can't keep a person on a book forever.
Right. I mean, that is...
And Mark Waid had an amazing 3 or 4 year run on Daredevil. I mean, this is volume 2 already. And, you know, writers leave, artists leave, but it was an amazing run, and I'm still enjoying it, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it up until Mark Waid and Chris Samnee exits the title. And hopefully a good team will come on. We just have to keep our fingers crossed.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy issue 21. So the team is now in search of Flash Thompson, who's gone missing a long while back. And he's on this planet, and he's not acting himself. He's acting out his symbiote, basically. There's some good moments in this book. I really did enjoy it. So basically... there is a scene with Peter Quill and Shadowcat. I'm leaving that up to you guys to read, but it was really funny. Oh, and then there's a little salute from IDW Publishing for Marvel's 75th. Sorry, I kind of took a little what? And then I realized.
That was nice.
So, the Guardians, or I should say Gamora, finds Flash, and thanks to the Guardians, they're able to stop Flash, who is apparently being possessed by the symbiote somehow. The symbiote, he's not in as much control of it as he was before, and we don't know why. And I'm sure by the next issue, or the issue right after that, we will find out why. But Flash is now with the Guardians, and the symbiote is being contained. Or is it? The last page was the best page.
Are you serious?
In the book. Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
So, apparently now, spoiler alert here, we're going to have the symbiote running wild on the Guardian ship.
Oh, I am gonna be very excited to see the next issue.
It's going to be very interesting. So, and now they're taking the symbiote back to its planet of origin. Interesting stuff. I'm really glad the Guardians of the Galaxy are where they're at.
I can't believe what I saw. Okay. This is my best book of the week from Marvel, The Punisher, issue number 12. And it seems like it's been a couple of weeks since these Punisher comics have been coming out. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But anyway, starts off with your favorite page about the cast of the Fantastic Four movie thing that was going on. But overlooking that, the Delsos want to destroy LA so that way they can have power. Meanwhile, Sergeant Tugs meets up with he meets up with that girl. I can't remember what her name was. That wants to pass a message to Frank. Something that he should see.
Not Rachel.
No, not Rachel. No.
Another girl.
Yeah, this girl right here. I can't remember what her name is at the moment. It's where they met in the beginning. So Frank is saying that he wants to beat the Delsos because they think that he's dead. And the criminals aren't afraid of him because they think that he is dead. And as the issue continues, you know, he just wants to find a way to defeat the Delsos and to get rid of whatever they have so they don't destroy LA, which is where he's living in. And I like this page right here where he sets up for all the stuff to defeat them. Great artwork, actually. I'll show another page, which is this right here. I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, I like Punisher with the mask because I feel that defines his character of showing punishment, to be serious about it. But that's what I think. So he's just trying to let's just say he's sending a message to the Delsos of a symbol that everyone should be aware that he's not dead. Because Frank Castle is dead, not the Punisher. So that's going to be something really interesting to look forward to in the next issue. And furthermore to come, actually.
Fantastic Four issue number 13. Ben Grimm breaks out of jail with the help of the FF, Inhumans, and a few other friends. Sandman. And Mr. Fantastic, however, is a prisoner. And so are the kids. And we find out that amongst the young children's ranks was a traitor. And I'm not going to spoil who it is. You'll have to read the issue to find out. And Franklin is being held hostage so that the father will do whatever he's told. Like I said, Ben breaks out of jail. Sue and Johnny meet up with him at a secret location. Ironically, spoiler alert here, in California.
Wow, everybody's going to California.
And that's where the new suits are, or the blue, they're back in blue, so to speak. And now the Fantastic Four, basically they regroup, they're back together as a family, and now they're going to go save Mr. Fantastic. And Johnny, even though he doesn't have his powers, is still part of the Fantastic Four and will be fighting as part of the Fantastic Four. So that's the long and short of it. The dialogue itself obviously makes the book, you know, I left out so you guys will check this book out. But I did enjoy this book this week. I really liked it. However, I just hope they don't cancel this book. That's what I'm worried about. I'm actually enjoying James Robinson and Leonard Kirk's run on Fantastic Four, and I don't want to see it end because of this shitty movie. Alright, Spider-Woman issue number 1. This is going to be an ongoing series. This is not a mini-series out of Spider-Verse, but it originates from Spider-Verse. The first issue takes place during Spider-Verse. And even though I read Amazing Spider-Man, I feel that this book should have started before or after Spider-Verse. It should not have it shouldn't have started in the middle of an event. It should have started on its own. In this book, it flies out of the events of Amazing Spider-Man number 10, which we'll get into in a minute.
Right.
But basically, Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman, is babysitting Silk throughout this entire book. She follows Silk, who runs off to try to take the Inheritor's attention away from the other Spider-Men and Peter, which we read in Amazing Spider-Man 10. The reason I'm doing this book first is because Amazing Spider-Man was a lot better than Spider-Woman. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy Spider-Woman though. After she's done babysitting, Silk and the Spider-Man Noir got hurt, thanks to one of the Inheritors. They go to Spider-Man Noir's world, which is Earth 90214, where he gets medical attention from Black Cat, which I don't understand why they bring him back to his world and not go to Earth 13. But anyway, Spider-Man, Anya, and Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman show up. Basically, he's going to take Spider-Woman away and let the two Spider-Girls babysit Silk now. And Spider-Woman goes off on a mission. We'll find out what happens in the next issue. And we find out Silk runs away before the Spider-Girls could find her, and she's on Earth 981. And the Inheritors are following her, or have followed her to that Earth. But the Spider-Girls are left in the Noir world. Again, this felt like a Silk book more than a Spider-Woman book. Obviously, this is to promote Silk, which is coming out, I believe... I don't know if it's coming out during Spider-Verse. I'm going to check the checklist.
Well, couldn't you...
No, it will not be part of Spider-Verse. Silk will be coming out after Spider-Verse.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing Silk on that.
But I guess the writers felt since Silk was getting her own book, they'd just throw her in there really quickly, and now Jessica Drew's going to go off on her own. Again... Good issue. I'm going to wait till the first story arc's over and the start of the second story arc before I make judgment, because right now this is part of Spider-Verse, so I'm going to be reading it anyway. When Spider-Verse is over and we go into Jessica Drew's own stories, we'll see how it goes from there, and we'll see if I continue to read it. Greg Land definitely needs some work on his faces, I will say that. Now we're in Amazing Spider-Man number 10. So, Superior Spider-Man, aka Doc Ock Spidey, and the rest of the Spider-Men are still separate. Miles and Jessica from the Ultimate Universe, I'm not going to say the Earth number, are being attacked by the Inheritors. Enter Superior Spider-Man and two other Spider-Men from his group of Spider-Men that he's saved. They end up saving Miles and Jessica, and then we go back to Earth 13 where everybody's talking. Pete's like, why am I the chosen one? I shouldn't be the chosen one. And it's explained to him sort of how he's the chosen one. And then we find out they found out about Superior Spider-Man's team and they want to go rescue them. And the team splits up into 3 different places. One place is where Spider-Man goes and he finds Superior Spider-Man. And he's not too happy that he's seeing himself. Possessed by Doc Ock, of course. And this book is just like a major advertisement because the advertisement for Scarlet Spider's miniseries is in here from Spider-Verse. The advertisement for Spider-Woman's in here. And even Spider-Man 2099 is in here. So they're now on in the Beyond world because that's where, or 2099 because that's where Superior Spider-Man and everybody else is hiding out outside of the original Spider-Man. So a big fight between the Inheritors and the Spider-Men there breaks out. And they all escape, but they escape separately into separate places, and that's what leads into Spider-Woman, Spider-Man 2099 number 6, Scarlet Spider's number 1, where Jessica Drew abandons Miles. It was really crazy. And then Spider-Man Pete brings all the other Spider-Men that were being led by Doc Ock back to Earth 13, which is the safe zone, and that's where Superior Spider-Man basically proclaims, enough of this BS, I'm in charge now. And
who died and made him king?
And Pete's not too happy about that. So, really good issue, definitely very chaotic. It was a very chaotic issue, but after the live show and after thinking about what Jay said about the book, yeah, everything has to be a little bit chaotic. I don't like the promotions for all the miniseries. You know, check this out here, check this out there, check this out somewhere else. But at the same time, other than that, this was a pretty strong book. Alright, now we're in Axis. Mike has 3 Axis books.
Yes, we have Carnage Axis, issue number 2. And I kind of like this book. Like in this book, it continues the adventures of Carnage wanting to be a superhero. And we get a little bit of a backstory about his past that happened, and it was kind of a disturbing past. And he asks this girl for help of saying, you know, I'm a hero now, but I don't know how to be a hero. So his first lesson is to keep a promise that he won't kill anyone anymore. And there's some artwork. that, by the way, this is parental advisory, not for kids. Just want to point that out there. Is this good to show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to be sure because I don't want to show something disgusting. So basically, Carnage tries to stop a bank robbery, but he wasn't a robber, he was a gravedigger, so I thought that was kind of funny that he didn't think that. So they're doing a video of, who he is, so that way maybe a priest would see it. So then there's a real bank robber that happens where first he sets it on fire, and then he takes it out with a fire hydrant, and then the girl that Carnage was with about teaching him to be a superhero gets kidnapped. By who we don't know.
Obviously we'll find out in the last part.
Yep. So I'm gonna get to the next issue because the last part, so definitely check this out. Next book is Magneto Access, issue number 12. And this comic book goes very in deep with Magneto's story in the past with Magneto and Charles Xavier. But before we get into that, it goes into the Access War with the Grey Skull and... I'm sorry, the Red Skull. Why I think Grey Skull? He-Man.
Keep going, don't worry about it.
The Red Skull. Here's some artwork, which is still a little bit sketchy. But I think it improves as time goes on. So, this is also now where they have a long dialogue of Charles and Magnus having their stories in the past. We want to find that out. Read the book. So they're just trying to put a spell on the Red Skull to try to stop him, along with more memories that came back. And he just wants to know where the villains are to help him out with all this. So the spirit of Charles comes in, and he tries to talk sense into him just to make him understand about that the mutants need him and everything. Like, he's just trying to show him ways of being good and to show peace and everything else. And with so much confusion, he's trying to not make it so confusing for him. But in the end, we see that he's caring for the people, but somebody watching doesn't. He continued. So I like how he's going a little bit towards the anti-hero, but I don't think we're going to see him as a hero. Who knows? And that leads to the biggest book, Access issue number 6. And it's the whole switcheroo with the roles reversed. And there were two things I didn't like about this book. Well, it starts with Apocalypse saying, I'm the Almighty Apocalypse, and blah, 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 I'm going to do everything, and yada, yada, yada. We all know what villains always say. So we get a role reversal of Rogue and Nightcrawler going up against Mystique. And they have this long reversal thing. Sabretooth comes in to save her, and that's where it ends there. Then it's where Daredevil meets up with Tony Stark, who is a drunk. I mean, Tony Stark was always a drunk, which led to a little bit of a fight scene between the both of them about...
To be continued, obviously.
To be continued, yeah. Then we get... Oh, I'll show you some more artwork, which is excellent. Then Doctor Doom and Wanda have their fights with their roles reversed. And, because she wants to get rid of him for other obvious reasons. And this is what I didn't like. We see Thor, who is gambling and drunk, which I never thought I would see in Thor, and that treats Loki like he's a piece of garbage. And he's saying, I love you and I'm trying to help you. And he just says, your love's misplaced, just get out of my sight because, I don't need you. And Spider-Man comes to save the whole day. And when everyone gets together, let's just say that, the apocalypse is upon them, and they have an hour to stop Apocalypse before everything gets chaotic. So with time to spare, let's find out what happens, and I don't know how many issues are left. So
3.
Yeah, I'm going to continue reading it because I like it.
Alright, we're now in DC Comics, and this is the worst book for me for the entire week, and this is going to be the book that causes me, that is the reason why I drop every single Green Lantern title. Godhead In Green Lantern New Guardians issue number 36, this was a disgusting, perverted, dark version of All-Father. I know last month I said that New Guardians was the best one because All-Father acted like All-Father. Well, guess what? He did a complete 180 in this book, and words can't describe how wrong Jack Kirby's All-Father and the New Genesis and the New Gods are being written in this book. And this story is uninteresting. It's horrible. I'm just not enjoying it because the New Gods are so out of place and so out of character, especially All-Father. So with this issue, I'm gonna try to stick to it because I want to see it end at least. I want to see how it's gonna end because we all know they're gonna get the upper hand, the Lanterns. But I need to see it end. But I'll be honest with you guys, this is gonna be the series that causes me to drop Green Lantern, Green Lantern Corps, and Green Lantern New Guardians. Sinestro, if the story's good, I'm sticking with it, and same thing with Red Lanterns. I have to see how the new writer works after this crossover, and if those aren't good, I'm going to drop them too. But to be honest, this was a horrible... This story is just not working. As a matter of fact, it's working in reverse. It's causing me to not want to read Green Lantern anymore.
Well, it's not the only book that you found horrible. What I found horrible was Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 36. Yes, Red Hood and the Outlaws. I'm done with this book. And I'm going to explain why I'm done with this book. First of all, I don't think Lobo's ever coming, number one. And number two, it gets a little interesting at first. Talks about Jason Todd and how he fights off against all the bad guys. And basically, because Batman trained him and all that. And then he just talks about, you know, all this stuff. So then we get into Starfire's story. All works good. About what she does and everything. And then it comes to where Oliver Queen meets with Roy, and he has a talk with Jason for a little bit. And it just goes back and forth between them, Starfire, and Essence makes an appearance in this comic book. And they have their thing. And then it goes to a long time ago about Starfire, which was very uninteresting. And I don't know why they did that. So Jason Todd goes up into space because things in danger. Then Oliver Queen says to Roy, you know, we have to talk because, you know, I'm your last friend in the world. And this is the part where I said no. He knows more about Starfire than she probably knows about herself. No. No. I am not dealing with a comic book that says, I know more about Starfire. No. I'm not dealing with that. Because I dealt a lot more of that in Constantine, not in this book. So I am not picking it up anymore. It is not going, I don't see it, in my opinion, not going anywhere. So I'm done with Red Hood and the Outlaws. I just can't. If it gets interesting again, I'll pick it up. But I have to drop it for now.
Batman and Robin issue number 36. Batman is on Apocalypse. The Bat family is on Apocalypse. Batman is tearing through the armies of Darkseid to get to his son. He actually goes through Glorious Godfrey, who tells Batman where his son is being held. And you got the all Robin suit Bat family also on Apocalypse trying to find Batman so they can help him. With Cyborg, by the way. And Batman finds out where his son is. He goes headlong into... There's a lot... This book has action. May I tell you... Lots of action. Batman comes face to face with the family, and he's like, well, you left Gotham. What about Gotham? I trusted you. And then he just cuts himself off and goes, wait. I'm sure you left it in good hands. That's a pretty quick 180, but then at the same time, he does know his family, so he's like, oh, you're here, so that means you found somebody to take your place while you're here. So they go to get Damian back. Batman fights Calabac for all of about 3 pages, makes easy work of him, which is hilarious. And then somebody shows up at the very end of the book. I mean, we all know Damian's coming back. We all know Batman's going to somehow save him. But at the same time, I can understand why a lot of people are loving this book, but at the same time, I can understand why some people just aren't interested. This is great action and good writing, but at the same time, a lot of people are getting tired of Batman. They don't like that Batman's on Apocalypse fighting Darkseid. That's not his thing. And it's true. When I think of Darkseid, I think of a Superman story with Darkseid more than Batman, or a Batman-Superman story. You know, the two of them, not just Batman. And obviously, this is just a story / excuse or reason or method to bring Damian back. That's basically all it is. It's the excuse on how Damian came back. Because Grant Morrison killed him, now DC had to come up with an idea to bring Damian back, and this is like last minute idea. Let's just use Darkseid, let's bring Damian back with superpowers, and yeah. So, again, not the best story out of Batman, but at the same time, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it, I will say that. I am really having a good time in Batman and Robin. Justice League issue number 36. I'm really loving Justice League. So the Justice League, all the human Justice Leaguers are now hospitalized. So is almost 90% of Gotham because of the Amazo virus. And Superman and Batman are doing cleanup, are making sure anyone who's infected is taken to the hospital, and making sure nobody enters the city, and keeping the city basically clean. There's 3 stages to the Amazo virus. First, the flu-like symptoms. Second stage is metahuman powers, which you guys are seeing here. And then after that, 24 hours after getting the metahuman powers, complete body failure. Everything shuts down and you die. So, Superman is unaffected by the Amazo virus because he's an alien. Batman's unaffected because he thought ahead and he's got a mech suit. Lex Luthor's unaffected because same thing, and Wonder Woman's not affected because, well, she's a god.
Of course.
So, she's not human either. Steve Trevor shows up with agents of Argus. Right, it was Argus?
Yeah, Argus. You're right.
And he wants to know what he and Argus can do to fix this. And Lex Luthor gives the whole reasoning behind. Like, first, everybody's blaming Lex. You know, this is his dark secret. And then he explains he created the Amazo virus. So the Amazo virus came from samples he took from Amazo that he wanted to use as a means to take away the powers of supervillains, basically.
Is that Steve Trevor?
Yes, it is, Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
And you get the whole history on how he tried to do this for the best of mankind. It backfired. There was never a test subject, human or metahuman, and that was that. Now the virus got out, and now the only way for him to find a cure is to find patient 0, which is the first infected. And as a matter of fact, long story short, Superman and Batman actually come face to face with that person at the end of the issue. Who is patient 0? How will Superman and Batman deal with him? Is the Amazo virus really unable to affect Superman, Wonder Woman, or Batman? We'll have to find out as the story progresses, but I really did enjoy this. Definitely set up for things to come in the future, but at the same time, oh so amazingly good. And with that, guys, just give us a couple of seconds. We're going to click the button on the camera, and then we will continue and conclude this week's comic review. Alright, we're back, and we are now in Superman Wonder Woman, issue number 13. I love this issue, and I'm going to tell you guys why. In this issue, Peter J. Tomasi went back in time and fixed something from the past. Now, everybody knows I was not happy with the way Superman was reintroduced when the New 52 started. He was very rash, very headstrong, pig-headed, very sure of himself, and he didn't care about anybody but himself, and he was all like, come at me, bro, that's it, you know, bring it on. And he didn't care what happened or anybody who got caught in the fire, and you know, and his personality was completely opposite of the original Superman. Well, Peter J. Tomasi says, oh yeah? And he goes 5 years into the past when Darkseid first attacked Earth and the beginning of the Justice League happened. And he redid a few things. Instead of Superman just fighting alongside Wonder Woman, you know, as, you know, that, you know, brash person who only lives to fight, basically, Superman is actually asking Diana for help to build a barricade to protect the people. And Diana actually is the one that says, no, I want to, you know, we should just fight these parademons and just take them out. And Superman says, no, the safety of the people and protecting them comes first. This is where the old Superman personality is finally coming back. And in the end, basically, after the parademons are taken out, and, you know, there's this one person who Diana finds, and he's close to death. Superman saves him and gives him to the EMT, and she is about to introduce herself to Superman. He's like, we don't just stand by and let people die. And she kind of gives him an attitude and says, I wasn't going to let him die. And then it jumps into the present where you got the classic Daily Planet mug, the classic typewriter, and Clark writing something. What is he writing? Read the book to find out. But it's date night. Diana and Superman go out. And somewhere else, though, Atomic Skull and Major Disaster decide, hey, we're going to steal some stuff. And just as quick as date night begins, it ends. And it's Superman and Wonder Woman versus Major Disaster and Atomic Skull. And that doesn't go too well. And in the end of the issue, we get introduced to a possible new superhero, or at least for this story arc hero, and then he disappears. And there's already rumors flying around that this character is the child of Superman and Wonder Woman from the future. Let's pray to God that that is not the case, or it's a possible future, not a definite future, because if it's a definite future, I'm going to puke. Now this book, both Michael and myself read.
Yes.
And I loved it this week. After 35 issues of Brian Azzarello has left Wonder Woman as well as the artist. I cannot remember who the artist was at this time. I wasn't reading Wonder Woman. I tried at the very beginning. I didn't like it. I tried one issue about 7 months ago and I didn't like it. Now the team of David and Meredith Finch have taken over in Wonder Woman 36. Meredith Finch is the writer. David Finch obviously is the drawer.
This brings back the old Wonder Woman.
This was really good. Something happened and a city was basically destroyed. A little town. There was a natural disaster, and now the human beings and the people and everybody were basically erased. And we don't know who's behind it, but there's obviously somebody behind it. And Diana, because her mother is frozen in clay, is now the ruler of Amazonia. And she actually made a decision in the previous story arc, and the Amazons are not too happy actually with that decision at all. And there's trouble in Paradise Island, let's put it that way. But Wonder Woman, along with the Justice League, are now investigating how that town, or the little the little towns basically were eliminated.
Yeah, and Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing makes an appearance, and Wonder Woman blames him at first, and it turns out it wasn't him. Obviously, it wasn't Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's a good guy. You have some dialogue between her and Aquaman, which was really awesome, and then the ending is definitely a shocker ending.
Very jaw-dropping shocker ending.
love Meredith Finch's dialogue for Wonder Woman as well as the story, and I love David Finch's artwork in this book.
Yeah.
There were a few people said there were little things here and there they didn't like. I love the entire book.
What was there not to like?
It was really good.
It was. It brought back the old Wonder Woman.
Now, before we get into the weeklies, this was my book of the week, though. Batman Superman issue number 16. Jay Lee is not drawing Batman Superman, at least not for this story arc. And Greg Pak is still writing for it, though. And Greg Pak did a spectacular job. All I have to do is tell you guys the title of this first part, and it says it all. Superman's Joker. Long story short, I'm skipping the beginning because it's really not too important. But somebody is looking to attack Superman. But not in the way that Superman's used to. All of Superman's supervillains basically attack him directly. This supervillain is targeting people that dress up like him or people that are close to him. And when Superman doesn't know how to deal with things like this, who does he turn to? I mean, the book says it all. He turns to Batman. And the artwork in this book is gorgeous also. And again, the personality, Superman's original personality is back. Now all we need is a costume change, a minor costume tweak. And you guys have a good grade A Superman possibly, you know, bring Lois Lane and him back together at some point. And I don't care that it's New 52 anymore then. So basically he goes to Batman for help to find out who or why this person is targeting people close to Superman and not Superman himself. And that's when Batman takes Superman back to the Batcave and says, dude, this isn't like Lex Luthor or Cyborg Superman or any supervillain you've ever had before. My friend, you have a Joker. And then he explains what a Joker is. Basically targets all the people close to him, and that's as a means to hurt Superman. And Superman's like, did you kill the Joker? And I think that was a dumb question for Superman to ask, because obviously the Joker's not dead. But Batman's like, and he asked him this because basically he's worried, you know, if Batman killed the Joker, then Superman's going to have to kill this guy. And Batman's like, no, I tell myself again and again I won't, but one day, and that's when the best dialogue comes out. Superman's like, I don't want to be like you, Bruce. And Bruce actually says, neither do I. And he doesn't want Superman to be like him either. So basically, him and Superman are devising a plan to beat this unknown enemy at his own game. However, this person hacks the Bat computer, and things go from bad to worse by the end of this issue. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Finally, a Superman book that has great art and a good story. Greg Pak wrote an awesome issue, and the artist, Saif, awesome artwork. Love this issue. Highly recommend you guys give it a check out. First part of a new story arc. Jump on friendly. Definitely get on that. We're now on the weeklies. Batman Eternal issue number 33. Batman is basically going to every safe house he has and destroying it. However, it's now public knowledge that Batman has safe houses all over the world, and things are falling apart for not only Batman now, but Bruce Wayne as well. The police are after Batman, and they actually send in a special squad, a special
I see.
special type of GCPD officer to try to take Batman down. Of course, he fails, but he's a pretty strong adversary, we could say that. We have Alfred's daughter helping Batman. Basically, they're breaking into the safe houses, so it causes the acid rain, which destroys the safe house. And him and the daughter split up, and that's where things go horribly wrong for Alfred's daughter, because she comes face to face with somebody I don't think she's ready to come face to face with. And where's Batman? I guess we'll find out in the next issue. That's the very short version of this book. Interesting read. I leave it up to you guys. World's End issue number 7. I thought it was an okay read too. You got Batman and Superman. This is Val Superman. Fighting in the clone Superman, where all the clone Supermans are. You got Desaad, who wants to turn Huntress into a daughter of Apocalypse or a Hound of Apocalypse. And you got a bunch of Superman clones now attacking Superman, Power Girl, and Red Tornado, and it becomes this huge fight. Really good artwork, I will say that. But then the rest of the book focuses on Green Lantern meeting his long dead boyfriend, who basically isn't that person anymore. He is now a avatar of the white. So basically, he's not the same person that Alan Scott loved. And then we get some dialogue with Dr. Fate and Mother Box. And basically, long story short, Jimmy is becoming a god, possibly. You get some dialogue with...
Really?
There's some dialogue with Constantine, which that's never good. And Apocalypse is closer than everybody thinks to Earth by the end of this issue. So end times begin for Earth too. Now remember, World's End is only supposed to go, I believe, 20 somewhat issues, and we're already in issue 7. So things are going to heat up and burn up, as they say, fast. So yeah, and then the best weekly book from this week, I would definitely have to say, is New 52 Futures End issue number 29. A New Firestorm is Born, and this book only focuses on one story out of the millions of stories we've been getting in Futures End, and that is Ronnie and Tim running to save Tim's girlfriend. And Jason's already broken into the lab. He gets knocked out by the professor. He tries to convince the professor he's crazy. You know, it's not true that he tried to sabotage the professor, but the teleporter, is not ready to be tested yet. And Tim and Ronnie break in. Well, Tim ends up fighting a bunch of security guards, and he says, lack of conditioning, it's been 5 years since I've actually fought. But Tim actually holds his own. Unfortunately, though, he sends Ronnie to save his girlfriend, and let's just say things go very horribly wrong in the teleportation chamber, and Jason tries to bond with Ronnie to make Firestorm. They fail, but like I said, a new Firestorm is created, and it's like we all thought. Basically, Jason merged with Tim's girlfriend, and now they are the new Firestorm, and we're led to believe that Ronnie might actually be seeing the end of his days. Possibly. We're not sure. I mean, we see him laying there, but we don't see the star for death. You know, when there's the word bubble, and then you see the star at the end of the dialogue, that represents the death of the character. We don't see that here. And the next issue looks like it's going to be focusing a lot on Cadmus Island. Future's End was really good this week. I like when it focuses on just one story, or even two stories, but when you focus on 5 and 6 different stories, that's where the stories kind of get lost and it takes longer to tell a full story. So that's one reason why I liked it. And that's it for this week, guys. As always, don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, Zone 4 Podcast, and Frontline Gaming Zone. All together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Feel free to leave comments below. Your likes, dislikes, whether you agree or disagree with any of the books myself or Michael reviewed this week. And as always, take care. Hope you guys have a really happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Because by the time the next review comes out, it'll be after Thanksgiving. It'll be during the 30th of November and the 1st of December. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Take care, and we will see you guys really soon in the next review. And I have to say my saying, keep reading, keep collecting. I'll see you guys in the next review.
Later, guys.